Welcome everyone to today's embodiment practice. Today is Mahashivaratri, so we do have a special little practice planned for you here. You can begin either in a meditative posture, your favorite one, or feel free to take a shavasana in the beginning, because I'm going to do a few chants and we're also going to do like a breathing meditation. So if you feel most comfortable laying down to focus on your breath and to receive some mantra, then feel free to do that, or seated as you like. So we'll just start with some slow, deep breathing that I'd like you to continue throughout our entire practice. And I really like to use the breath as like a vehicle to send the prana to all the cells of your body. So just really long and slow breaths. And if you do any particular yoga breathing, if you do ujjayi breath or anything else that you've learned, feel free to employ that. But really, we'll just start simply. You can place your hands, you can place a hand on your belly, one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, or also the ribs is another really good way. If you know that your ribs don't move very much when you breathe, you can place your hands on your ribs. And just start to slow down your breath. Breathe through your nose as much as possible. And I like to guide slowing the breath more so than deepening it. Because sometimes when we try to take a really deep breath, there can be strain involved in that. And so instead, I want to encourage you to take a slow breath, to make that inhale last as long as possible. And then the exhale also, just very patient, not sighing the breath out all at once, but like slow, like you're just pouring a cup of water out and you don't want any water to splash. So the exhale slow like that. So please continue to breathe that way as you receive just a few short mantras. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And next I'll do the non-dual invocation, which many of you know, and you're welcome to chant it with me. But it's also part of the Shiva Manasa Puja. So for Shivaratri, it's very nice to start our embodiment practice with this. Atma tvam girijamati sahachara prana shariram graham pujate vishayo pabhoga rachana nidra samadhi stitihi Sanchara padayo pradakshina vidhi stotrani sarvagira Yadyat karma karomi tattarakilam shambhotavaradhanam Jaya Jaya Karuna Habde Shri Mahadeva Shambho Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. And as you continue that slow breathing that maybe is getting even deeper, the last mantra will be one that we carry throughout the entire practice. Just very simply, Om Hrim Namah Shivaya. And we'll take this mantra in every pose, in every breath. And I like to do it in an embodiment practice with the mantra where we kind of send the mantra on your breath to every cell in the body. Or for each pose, like say we're doing a forward bend and you can really feel your hamstrings, we're waking up awareness in the hamstrings. And so you can send that mantra, Om Hrim Namah Shivaya, to your hamstrings. And it's like one of the quotes from a great teacher, there is nothing that exists that is not Shiva. So our awareness, our body is Shiva, our awareness of our body is Shiva, and Om Hrim Namah Shivaya is I bow to the divine consciousness. I give reverence to the divine consciousness. So we just do that with every single breath. And if the mantra helps you, you can use that. If it doesn't help you, then you just breathe and feel your body. But that will be the invitation for our Mahashivaratri practice, to use that Om Hrim Namah Shivaya. And you can do it silently inside. If you're in a space where you can do it out loud and you want to, feel free to do that. And so we'll just start here in your Shavasana posture or your meditation posture, sending that mantra now to the whole body, in reverence to the whole body. Maybe sometimes you may even feel that your body is giving that reverence back to you, what you feel like is you. Jaw completely relaxed. That slow, deep breath creating no extra tension through the body. And then finally, if you have any intention you'd like to set for your practice, just setting that inside, maybe letting it ride on the mantra to every part of your being. Om Hrim Namah Shivaya. All right, from here, please come onto your hands and knees. We'll begin with our simple cat's breath. Inhaling, opening the front of the body. Exhaling and rounding the spine. And just keep going with your own breath. bringing awareness to every part, noticing anywhere you feel sore, tight, where you feel relaxed and open. And feel free to do any non-linear movement, any stretching through the sides of the body. Sometimes it's good to just writhe around a little bit. Move the hips, move the shoulders, move the neck. Okay, and then coming to a flat back, we'll start to do a little bit more movement. And I'll start to bring my guidance to be very minimal so that you can stay in your own practice, in your own meditation, just using that mantra whenever it feels good. Start with your left knee into the chest, kind of rounding the spine, engaging the abs, and then reach it back, touching the toes to the ground. Like that a few times. And now the next time when you reach the foot behind you, bring the inner edge of the foot down and bring that left hip on top so you're opening up and reach the top arm over the head. And if you need to do the other side so you can see the video, feel free to switch to the other side. And then we bring that top arm down and the knee back into the chest. So now those are the two we're switching between. As you reach back, open up into the side and reach the top arm over the head. Jaw relaxed. Stretching through the side body. Feel free to hold either one of these poses if that feels better than switching between them. Now the next time you come into the side stretch with that arm overhead, take the top arm, bend the elbow, hold the back of your head, and start to rotate the chest up towards the sky. Just only doing as far as it feels like a good opening. And then again, we come back down, engaging the core, round the spine. Stretch that leg back. Inner part of the foot down, stretch the side body, and then come into the rotation, supporting the head, roll the chest open. Few like that. Om, Hrim, Mahashivaya. Where do you feel it in your body? How can you bring more awareness? to what's happening right now. Okay, this next one, going to reach back, and you can come into the stretch again. This time you don't have to hold your head. And we'll incorporate a balance. So we're in this, it's like a variation of side plank. Bottom knee is down. And now we're going to lift up the back leg, if you can, if I can, and try to balance. So it helped me to curl my bottom toes under. I did that. Just focus the eyes. If you need to, come down and readjust. And then we're going to bring this top arm down to the hip. That may also make it a little bit easier. Lift the leg up into the arm and press the hand down into the leg. Relax your jaw and breathe. Okay, and now from here, we're going to step through into a lunge. So bring both hands to the ground, and that back leg is stepping all the way through between the hands. So here's where, if you have a block, you might need it. Put it right there. But we'll start with a lunge. You can either have the hands on the ground even for support, or hands on the knee, or arms to the sky. And just sinking the hips forward. Noticing where you feel this in your body, what places we're opening. Om Hrim Namah Shivaya. And then press through the front foot to bring your hips directly over the back knee. And curl the back toes under. So the back heel is a little bit higher. And this right hand can reach back for the heel. If you can't quite reach the heel, you can place your hand on your hip, or you can use the block. We're just leaning into a back bend, as much of a back bend as feels good to you. You might stay very upright. Deep breath. And then rising up. I'm going to do the same thing, same position with the legs, but now the opposite arm. The left arm goes back. And this is where the block might be very handy for some of you. You can place that hand on the block and reach back. For some of you, you might be able to reach the back ankle. Do not force it. Do not force anything. So this is like a half camel. Maybe like a twisted half camel right now. Breathe into the rib cage. Use your mantra. And then slowly release, coming forward. Back into the lunge. This time, crossing the right elbow over that left knee. You can bring your hands into a prayer. If that's too far, if you can't quite reach your elbow, you just can kind of hold onto the knee. Moving your chest towards your hands. And now we're going to make our way to chair pose, twisted chair pose, parivrtta utkatasana. And you can do that either just by getting up and coming to twisted chair, or if you want to try balanced transition, you curl the back toes under and lift the back knee. And then we're going to step that left foot to meet the right. Might take a few steps to get there. So both knees are bent, that right elbow is crossing over the left knee, and you're still moving the chest towards the hands, lifting the rib cage away from the legs. Let that lower jaw release. Slow your breath. Good, and then forward bend. Straighten both legs, fold over. You can have the feet wide here, you can have them close, your choice. Relax the neck. You can have the knees bent as much as you like. That can take pressure, a lot of pressure off the back. Straightening the legs more, of course, intensifies this pose. Let the head hang. Let it drop down. And then slowly rising up, coming all the way up to standing. Reach the arms up to the sky. And then exhale, release the arms down. And just take here and stand relaxed, alert, awake. Notice your body. It's always good to compare the two sides when we've done a lot on one side, just to feel the effects, to feel the results of our practice. Om Hrim Namah Shivaya. Before we do the other side, let's shift into our Malasana Kriya. Bring the feet wide as the mat, toes slightly out, so that when you bend your knees, knees track with the toes, same direction as the toes. And we'll first come down to our high Malasana with the hips at the level of the knees. So you never have to go any deeper than this. You could even stay up a little higher. You take the squat as feels good for you. Start with a twist. Drop one shoulder down to the center. Look back up over the other shoulder. Kind of pressing into the legs as you do that. Deep breath, other side. Good. And then back to center. Elbows into the knees, still keeping the hips high. Hands near the heart. Good. And then bringing the awareness into the soles of your feet and the strength of your legs. Slowly, slow motion, press through the feet. Om Hreem Mahashivaya. Straightening all the way. And get that shoulder stretch by keeping the ribs tucked in. So there's one way that we can let that back bend happen, but for now, let's keep the back bend in check and just only get the shoulder stretch. Unless you really prefer the other way, whichever you like. But that's what I'll encourage, to get that shoulder opening. And then we'll do the kriya. So you come down either to the level of the hips, or you can come down lower if that feels wonderful to you. And rising up at your own pace, with your breath, with your mantra. Inviting awareness into the body, peace into the body. Good. Modifying it as you need to for your body today. Each day is different. Maybe slowing it down, maybe speeding it up. Last few. Jaw relaxed. All right. Completing and standing. Tadasana. Mountain pose, just standing in your radiance and your aliveness. Feeling, receiving the energy. So now we'll have to do that first sequence on the other side. So coming back onto hands and knees. Maybe a few cat's breaths, just to find out what has changed, a little assessment. How do the two sides feel? Okay, and now we're doing the other side. I believe it's the right side. Right knee into the chest and extending it back with your own breath. For when you bring the knee in, coiling all the energy into the center. And when you reach that foot back, either touching the ground or you can radiate it in the air, just really extending through the whole body. And then adding in next time as you extend the back leg, bringing it onto the big toe side of the foot. Balance on the knee and the hand, and the top arm reaches over the head, so you're elongating that whole right side of the body. And then coming back, knee into the chest. Reaching out and extending. Alternating between those two as slowly as you want, or maybe just holding one for a while. And then the next time we're adding in, as you extend that side body, take the top arm behind the head and lean back, open the chest. Coming back, knee into the chest. Om Hreem Mahashivaya. Next time you're extended out, staying that way, finding a spot to fix your eyes upon for balance, and maybe lifting that back leg up. Bring the top arm down to press against the thigh. Opening the chest to the side, if possible. Breathe here. And then from here, we'll step through into the lunge. So that back foot comes all the way through, both hands down, low lunge. You may keep your hands on the ground for lots of support. The hips moving forward towards that front heel. You could bring the hands onto the knee or reach both arms to the sky. Breathing awareness into every cell of your body. then pressing up, still in the lunge, but we're just lifting the hips. And if you're using your block, you can place that back near the back foot. Okay, whichever leg is back, use that same arm on the same side to reach back for the heel. Curl the toes under. If you can't reach the heel, you place your hand on your lower back. And this other arm comes up. This is Ardha Uttanasana. Half camel. And then releasing that side. Same position with the legs, but we switch the arms. And here's where this block will come in handy for some of you so that you can reach the other arm up. Or for some of you, you will be able to reach that back foot. It's a little bit of a balance pose as well. Relax your jaw. Take a deep breath. And slowly rise up. Coming now into the twisting lunge. Front knee bends. Cross that left elbow over. Bringing the hands into prayer position and lift your heart. See if you can keep from resting down on the leg. So if your right leg is forward, you're twisting to the right. You're crossing over it. Yeah, there you go. Good. Giving that spine a nice twist. Deep breath into the rib cage. Om Hrim Mahashivaya. If you like to, straighten the back leg. As we shift into twisting chair pose, you can either just release this pose and come to standing and come into chair, or try that balance transition, bringing the weight onto the front foot, lifting the back foot up, step it forward. Both knees are bent. Twisting to the right, cross that left elbow over the right knee. Maybe extend the arms, opening your wingspan. And then forward bend, Uttanasana. Folding down, relaxing the upper body, slowing your breath. Letting the head hang. And then from forward bend, we're coming into standing splits. If you're using the block, this can be handy here to place your hands on the block And we'll extend the right leg back and up behind us. If you're easily on the floor, hands can be on the floor. And you can take this two ways. You can hold the pose, or you can take a pulsation, slowly bringing those right toes down to touch the floor and reaching the heel up into the sky. Breathing with that pulsation. And then bring the right foot down, bring the feet wide, coming into a malasana. Just before we do the other side, as low or as high as you want, taking a breath or two. Om Hrim Namah Shivaya. And then coming back to the forward bend, preparing for standing splits on the other side, using the block as needed. Lift the left leg up. Relax the neck. Inviting those pulsations, if you like, touching the left toes down to the ground, alternating with reaching the heel up to the sky. Good, and then release both hands down. We're coming down now to rest in child's pose. So make your way down. You can have the knees wide. You could have them close, your choice. Just relax, bow down. Any other resting pose is fine as well if child's pose doesn't work for your body. Listen to the whole body. Just open your ears, open your senses, feel. Feel free to hold child's pose a little bit longer. I'll guide us into downward facing dog, so you can just come into that whenever you're ready, taking more time in child's pose if you need. Straightening the legs up into downward dog only when you're ready. Hands shoulder distance apart, feet hip distance apart, hips to the sky. And just taking any alignment in downward dog that is really good for you. Maybe any variations that you know work really well for you. Even if you don't know any of that, it's okay. You just take the position, you feel your body, you bring awareness to new parts, bring awareness to the body. With reverence, Om, Hrim, Mahashivaya. Last breath or two, jaw relaxed, face relaxed, neck relaxed. And returning to child's pose, balasana. Release back. Good, nice. Softening everything. Softening, softening, softening. Okay, and then from here we're going to make our way to standing. Taking your time, you might be a little dizzy after having the head down for that long. Good. Okay. So we'll do a little bit of work with balance. We're going to be working towards Natarajasana, which is Shiva dancer pose. We'll have variations, so we'll be able to modify it. And we'll just start by opening up the side channels even a little bit more. So you can reach your arms up to the sky. We'll do a standing crescent pose, either palms together, or you can have the hands shoulder distance and just leaning over to your left. And so if you can, straighten the elbows just to the degree that you can. Strong legs. So you have just a pillar. The legs together are a pillar. And push the hips over to the right as you lean to the left. Maybe turning the chest a little bit up to the sky. Om Hrim Namah Shivaya. Back up to center. Just take a moment, relax the arms. Feel the two sides. Good, and then other side. You can also do this with your feet apart. I like with my feet together, it just makes me feel like I have really good stability, but either one is fine. Arms extend, straighten the elbows to the degree that you can, and lean over to the right. Strong legs, press into the ground with your feet. Press the hips to the left. Take a deep breath and reveal your heart to the sky. And then come back all the way up. Release. Hands down, feeling that symmetry now we created through both sides. We are going to come back to the floor for one thing before we are standing up again. So if you have a block, it's going to be really handy. If you don't have a block, we're going to open up the back of the spine over it. If you don't have a block, you can like roll your mat up a little bit and lay on that. That will work too. Or a pillow. Lots of things will work. And you're resting your upper back. Now if you have any neck issues at all, definitely hold on to your head through the whole thing. But we're all going to start this way. We're all going to start with the hands holding the neck here. And let's see, I like to have the tops of my shoulders a little bit over that block so that we're getting a opening through the chest. You're kind of like laying back and letting the chest really open, and then curling up. So it almost feels like a sit-up. We're going to do a few of these. Just breathing. But with a sit-up, the focus is on strengthening the front muscles, and we're just focusing on opening the spine, bringing some flexibility to the back. You don't even have to be going really deep. We're just creating a little bit of fluidity, some lubrication there. Some of you, if you are more open, can use your arms as a weight above to come all the way down. Straightening the arms above the head. Just a couple more. And then maybe holding it, either arms extended, your head may reach the ground, or just supporting, keeping that support in the back of the head, but letting the chest open. And breathing that mantra right into the center of the heart. Good, and then we'll release that. Coming up. All right, back to standing. So first, for Natarajasana, going to hold one knee. Doesn't matter which one. And if you have a solid floor, like if you can step off of your mat and be on a concrete or wood floor, that's better for balance. So do that if you have that option. We're just using this for balance right now. If you also need a wall, if you find you're too wobbly, you can go place yourself next to a wall and use one of your hands there against the wall. Or next to a chair. You could have a chair like propped up next to your standing leg. So just finding some balance. And then we're going to take this leg and just open the quadricep. So the heel can be far back. You just draw the heel as close to the hip as you can. And try to point the knee straight down towards the ground. And then draw up through the lower belly. So you're kind of engaging the glutes and giving a little tuck to the tailbone. That should stretch your quadricep a little bit more. And you can stay here. This can be a really good place to work as a Natarajasana prep. If you feel balanced, you can bring the opposite hand out in front of you. And then some of you, if you feel very balanced, you can start to press the foot back behind you. And there's a lot of different alignment things we could work with here, but that's not my focus. Just feeling the embodiment. Making sure your body's not in any sharp pain, but feeling the heat, the shaking. And just press that foot up as high as you can. Om Hrim. Mahashivaya. And then we'll release. Sometimes you have to slingshot out of it, but if you can release it slowly, try that. And just shake out the legs. And you also may be like releasing that and coming back to it many times while we're holding it. You just come back to it as much as you can. Okay, other side. Just starting with the balance. Lifting the chest, drawing the shoulders back. Smoothing out the breath, slowing it down. Relax the jaw. And then once you feel like you've got your balance, at least a little bit, then we can begin the quad stretch. Bringing the heel as close into the hip as you can, and try to point that knee straight down. One way you can do that is by joining the knees. Giving that engagement to the glutes, a little tuck in the tailbone to give a further stretch to the quadricep. Maybe bringing the opposite arm out in front, offering. And for some of you staying right here, others may start to press that foot back and up. Focusing the eyes on a point, steady. Steady breath, steady gaze. Om, Hrim, Mahashivaya. And then slowly release. And just standing, let your eyes close. Maybe even receiving the mantra back from your body, from your cells. Almost Shavasana time. We'll do a little bit of a stretch here. You can make your way onto your back. Hug the knees in. And very deep breath into the low back. Always use that image of a balloon. You've got a balloon in your lower back and you are just inflating it with your breath. We'll cross the right ankle over the left knee. You can even give that ankle a little rotation there. Oh, maybe a little foot massage. A little love to yourself, to your body. And then we're going to reach for this left knee. You might hug behind the hamstring or around the front of the knee. Either way. And just draw that left knee towards you. You should feel a stretch in your right hip. Breathe into the right hip, the right leg. You might feel it elsewhere as well. Last couple breaths, add a little pulsation as you exhale, just hugging in a little bit more. As you inhale, relaxing a little bit more. Good, and then we'll release that side and change sides, crossing the left ankle over the right knee, and take that ankle rotation first, just letting the ankle roll in both directions, and just pressing in with your thumbs, a little bit of massage. Good, nice. All right. Hug the right knee, either the right hamstring or the right knee. Reaching through the legs, draw that in. Good. And just breathing into wherever you feel it, focusing on the sensations in your body right now. Last couple breaths, adding in the pulsation as you exhale, hugging in just a little bit more. As you inhale, releasing a little bit. Good, and then release. So we're going to Shavasana now. If there's one more pose that your body really needs, please do it. Please take another minute as we get settled in Shavasana to give your body what it needs. But otherwise, you're laying down. You can put a blanket under your knees, a cover over your eyes, anything that helps you feel very restful in Shavasana. And so Shavasana is a time for us to release and relax completely. There's nothing that you have to do in Shavasana. It's a time for your body and your physical body and your energy body to integrate all the work that we did. And so it's important not to exert any control. No breath control, no body control. You just let your body relax. If you can, have your palms up. It's just a nice receptive posture, but not required. And so I'll just do a very short chant, and then I'll leave you in silence for a few minutes, and then I'll call you back and we'll close class together with chanting Om. Om Tryambakaṃ yajāmahe sugandhíṃ puṣṭi-vardhánam urvārukam bandhānān mṛtyor mukṣīya mṛtā. Namah Shivaya. So taking some deeper breaths now. Inviting prana into all the places we've emptied out through our practice. Allowing some movement to return to your body, any movement that feels good, anything that just happens naturally. And for some of you, no movement may come. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you want. But if you would like to sit up and Om with us, then we'll do that now. Just making your way gently up to a seated position. Just finding your spine upright, your comfortable position here. Let your eyes close and feel and notice the results of your yoga practice in this moment, and you can notice throughout the day. Labels, words are not necessary, just feeling what you feel. And we'll close the practice by chanting Om. If you'd like to, bring the hands together at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Take a deep inhale. Namaste.